I joined the real estate industry, all I could think of, oh, you work with real estate agents. That was the perception about the real estate market, that it has fake listings, real estate agents would fool you, all these kind of things. That was more than a message. It was basically a direction that our CEO was taking. He started the first authentication tool in Dubai, which was TrueCheck. You can actually authenticate a property by making sure it's real.
People mistake PR for it's a very easy job. It's not a hard work. You just need to communicate and link people together.
I think there's so much more than that. It's sharing the right message with the right audience. I was born and raised in Jordan, so all of my life has been there. It wasn't easy, but knowing my personality, it was easy for me to adapt. It was easy for me to make friends. It was a difficult move. You leave part of your heart back home. Leaving the family in Jordan. I worked with a company where we used to convince vendors from Italy to come on board with us so that we can work projects for construction. We worked on a campaign called Breaking Barriers, clarifying to those Italians that in Jordan, we don't really ride camels to work. We actually have these big project hotels. We have those, towers that we're working on, and that was back in 2014. I remember it was a very, successful campaign.
Roof Broadway, real estate king, stack bricks all day. Bought a crib so tall, can't see the ground. Cash flow endless, funds never drown. Dubai skyline, Anthony raining.
And we are back in Dubai Stars. Today I have an amazing guest. This guest is not only a high figure in Dubai, but as a dear friend of mine. We go back for over 6-7 years. Noor, thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I have a little bit of presentation just for the people that they don't know you. Noor Nabulsi is the head of the PR and strategic partnership at Bayut Dubizzle, part of the Dubizzle Group UAE, one of the most trusted platforms in the region. Noor began her career in marketing and communication after studying at the University of Jordan, building a strong base in how to tell stories that connect with people. Noor joined Bayut in 2016, a decade ago, almost 10 years, and has seen the company grow from a single brand into a combined powerhouse with Dubizzle. So, Noor, before we speak about what's going on, the latest promotion, everything happening, the chaotic life you're receiving, let's go back to the university days. I want to know what got you into marketing. What was that flair or that sign or that human behavior that got you into marketing from the first place?
Sure. Thank you for the introduction as well, Anthony. I think marketing was not something that I planned to study, but I've always been passionate about TV ads. I've always watched, back in the day, we would always either play outside or watch TV. We don't have any other option. So while watching TV, I was very obsessed with, Syrian drama, and you would see the ads in between, or, Egyptian cinema, where I've always admired the ads, and I've always thought, I would really want to do one, one day. I think my sister, who's older than me, studied marketing, so I've seen how the books were. I used to, read those books, and I was very impressed with how marketing works. So that's how I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I will be in the marketing, and I've also been very, very passionate about writing. Copywriting. I would write songs. I would write. I had those notebooks where I write stories. Things like that. So that's how I got into the marketing as a major.
Do you remember the first campaign or the project that you worked on and you really nailed it, and then you said, you know what, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
I think I remember probably amongst the first ones. So in Jordan, I worked with a company where we used to convince vendors from Italy to come on board with us so that we can work projects for construction and things like that. So as I worked for them as a marketing manager, and while on our visit to Italy, we worked on a campaign for these. It was more B2B, but we worked on a campaign that I worked on, which was called Breaking Barriers. And I remember how much, they've started calling the sales after that campaign, because it was more about clarifying to those Italians that in Jordan, we don't really ride camels to work. We actually are, we have these big projects, we have these, hotels, we have those, towers that we're working on, and that was back in 2014. I remember it was a very, successful campaign because we could see the results of how many people have reached out to the sales department, especially because of this campaign. So that was one of the things that I truly remember, working on and had like a big impact. Yeah.
You know what, Noor? Like I've heard this sentence as well last week. I don't want to go through the post that I've seen online, but there's nothing wrong with riding camels. It's so much fun. Like I had this experience in the desert. I had it in JBR Beach. Like it's so much fun to ride the camel because the camel is kind of too slow. It's not like a horse that you need to be always alert. You don't want to fall. Yeah, that's so much fun. I don't know why people take this sentence as as someone is like offending them.
I don't think it's about being like an offensive.
No, I'm talking about the post I've seen last week. Like people were really offended. Oh, you're saying like we ride camels? Yeah, riding camels is super fun.
It is absolutely, but yeah, basically it's not the main transportation platform.
I wish we can go back to that time. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
tell
I'm
me,
sure.
I'm sure like moving from Jordan to UAE, it was like a big move for you. How was the shift? On the personal side and on the business side, did you feel like you're a stranger? Tell us more about it.
Of course. I mean, it was also not a plan to come to the UAE. So actually, I got engaged and we got a home. So we were planning on, basically how we're going to design it and all. And then out of a sudden, my current husband, he got an offer and we were like, oh, so the UAE, Dubai, are we going to do it? I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then that's how we moved.
Which year was that?
Basically, sorry.
Which year was that?
That was 2015.
15.
Yes.
10 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, so that's basically when we moved, and of course it's not easy. I mean, you leave part of your heart back home. I mean, leaving the family, all of your friends. I was born and raised in Jordan, so all of my life has been there. It wasn't easy, but knowing my personality, it was easy for me to adapt. It was easy for me to make friends, but it wasn't the easiest thing to happen. I mean, it was a difficult move. From like work-wise, since you asked on the professional side as well, marketing is an easy major to find, to basically find a job in, because it fits within any industry. All basically industries would want a marketing person. So I was basically applying, and I worked with a marketing consultancy for a few months, and then after that I got the interview with Bayut, and that's when I joined Bayut. But yeah, it was okay. It was a big difference, but yeah, it was okay.
So speaking of that, what was the lessons from your previous jobs, or like what you learned from the previous job that really helped you in Bayut, and some kind of maybe techniques or advices that still implement until today, and you want to pass it to the audience?
I think that success doesn't come overnight. You have to work really hard. You have to actually, have a goal. You have to be very well organized. That's something that I learned, to kind of have your life move on and basically, be able to grow where you are. So I think that's something that I would is the first thing that I would think of when it comes to what I learned.
What do you enjoy most about connecting with people? Because you speak to a lot of people, you're actually the person behind the scenes. Like people don't know that. Like all of those ads, everything that we've been seeing everywhere related to Bayut or Dubizzle or anything related to your organization, you are the main person behind the scene. So how does it feel like to be communicating with so many people, to be connecting to different mindset? Because end of the day, if I'm not mistaken, in your organization, maybe you have over 150 nationality, to be fair, right? So how does it feel to be connected to all of these people, and how do you manage it?
See, I think first of all, there's a big team that's behind the ads. It's not only me. So just so that we keep it clear to the audience. I mean, in the beginning, when I first joined Bayut, I think I was the only one in the marketing department that's handling all the ads and everything that was going on social media and all. But now there's a whole team and a department, a sub-department that's handling that as well. But I think interacting with so many people actually, opens eyes of how different people are, especially in a country like Dubai. I think that's also a different thing from working in Jordan, for example, where you're just basically talking to Jordanians. You know the same, you have the same habits, it's the same mentality, you know what you're basically delivering as a message. I think coming to Dubai was very different, especially that you work to deliver a message that has to cater to all the audience. Basically, that's coming from India, Egypt, the West. Like, you have to basically understand how all the people, receive the message so that you can deliver the right one. So I think that's quite different. What's very interesting is that you know how people differently think, and I think what's mostly interesting is that whenever I connect with people, there are always new ideas that comes. So no matter whether it's the government, where it's other partners from the industry, whenever we sit together and connect, there's always new ideas. I mean, it doesn't all have to be implemented, but there's always new ideas. So that's the good thing, is that you can sit with new people and then come up with ideas together, and then it could be something that become really big in the industry. You never know. So I feel there's always opportunity opening when you actually interact with new people.
Definitely. Noor, you guys had, like, I think one of the biggest mergers in the UAE. It was like everyone knew Bayut, and then Dubizzle used to be a portal that everyone knows, and then these two huge companies came together. What was happening in the company when this happened? How did you guys cope up with that merger? Because, like, end of the day, you want to keep your identity and you want to increase that identity without losing it. So tell me, how did you cope up with everything? And tell me about all of this process.
Sure, I think.
Take your time. I know you're the best in the storytelling, so take your time.
I think the first thing that happened is that we celebrated. I think that was a major milestone for us. Once the announcement has happened, we were all, very thrilled to see that, okay, we're now bigger. The good thing about it is that I think each of the brands kept the identity. I mean, we're both together, but we're under one umbrella, which is Dubizzle Group. So Bayut is a platform that's highly focused on real estate, right? And then Dubizzle comes, which has real estate, but it's a more broader vertical that has, cars, classifieds, real estate, and a lot of, other things.
When you say Dubizzle, cars come to your mind immediately before anything else.
Because it's the biggest in cars, right?
Yeah.
So, it was really interesting for us because there was much more for us to do. It's not only real estate anymore. It's much more, bigger than that. So that was a good thing. But I think also when both brands merged, Dubizzle was also a strong brand as well as Bayut. So they both kept their identities. And until this day, I can tell you that each of the platforms has their own audiences. And basically, it's something that we cannot control because it's consumer behavior, right? Like, it's a preference for the consumer that Dubizzle has its own audience, and Bayut has its own audience, and they still work separately. So yeah, that's how it was.
And for the people who don't know this, actually Dubizzle is one of the strongest platform if you're looking for a job, which I got to learn this maybe in 2018 or 19, but it never came to my mind. But Dubizzle, like, for someone looking for a job, Dubizzle is mega. It's bigger than most of the portals that you guys have heard of.
Yeah, true, that's true.
There was a time when people in the market questioned the real estate transparency. So what was the hardest public message or internal challenge you guys had to deal with during that phase?
I think more than a message. So when I joined the real estate industry, all I could think of, oh, you work with real estate agents. Oh, real estate agents are no good.
They're so annoying.
Yeah, so that was the perception, about the real estate market, that it has, fake listings, real estate agents would fool you, all these kind of things that we've seen. And I think it was, again, more than a message. It was basically a direction that our CEO was taking. He literally started the first kind of authentication tool in Dubai, which was TrueCheck back in the day, when even before regulations were in place, I mean, the same way they are right now. And TrueCheck was basically a tool where not only you can actually authenticate a property by making sure it's real, and we ask for the documents of these properties that are listed, but also they were asking agents to go using the Bayut Pro app, basically, back in the day, and take pictures which were geotagged, so that it actually proves for the end user that the property is available, real, and he
And it's
has
an
also
actual
the
listing.
eligibility. Yeah, exactly. To kind of list it. So it was more of, avoiding having property seekers call for a certain property to hear that, sorry, this property sold out, I have another one for you, but actually choosing the true checked properties, so that I know this is true checked, so I know this is real. He's not going to say it's sold out. He's not going to say, and it's available at the moment in the market. So I think it was more of how we kind of dealt with the transparency issue in the day, rather than just the message. And I think we're still pushing that. We have the TrueBroker right now, which is also, this program basically shows the users that these brokers have done the extreme, to effort to show you that they're, fast responsers, their customer service is really good, and they true check their properties. So there's a bunch of criteria that's there to identify a true broker. And I'm sure, I mean, if you've been here for the past year, you've seen them out there. You've seen their
I've
pictures.
seen them all over Sheikh Zayed Road and
Exactly.
Hossa Road, all of these billboards, all of the
Exactly.
agents,
Exactly,
and I
those
see those
ones.
agents, they have mega competition between themselves, especially inside of their own companies, that who has the most true checked listings, and usually management award them by having that, because it gives mega credibility to the company and to the broker himself.
Of course, I think a broker that actually does, the effort does deserve a reward.
I mean, it's not that hard. It's not, I don't call it an effort. It's maybe just driving to the unit, making sure to take the right photo, the unit number, a bit of
Yeah,
inside of it, and uploading it. So
exactly.
comparing to getting listing, this is nothing to verify it, to be very honest with you.
Yeah, true. That's true.
Noor, I know how stressful communication roles can be when the stakes are high. So I'm sure it wasn't always like life was smiling, and business was pouring. I'm sure there was lots of times when there were stuff really stressful, maybe stuff falling apart. What helped you go through that bad time?
Um, I wouldn't say there has been times where it has been falling apart.
It's not
I
falling
can't
apart.
remember.
Maybe the word
Yeah,
is too strong, but I'm saying those stressful days where you feel like, am I really fit for this? Is this what I'm gonna do for the rest of my? Like when you feel stressed, you start getting those ideas where, that sound in your brain that tells you, that quit or do something else, and
yeah.
that most of us as humans face, and that's what makes the difference between the one that keep going and the one that surrender. So I'm asking you because I know like how hard you've been working and how far you went. So I want to inspire other women that
Of
they're
course.
feeling extremely stressed, that this is nothing. Like you can make it, and this too shall pass.
See, to be honest, I think it's, I wouldn't say I was lucky, but I've had support from people around me. I mean, since I was a kid, my father believed in me, and my husband was very supportive. I mean, I had times in Beirut where I would have an event. I wouldn't leave before 6 a.m. in the morning. I would go back to take a shower and then go back to the event, for example. And my husband has always been supportive for anything that my work needs. He would always, think that I would get somewhere, and scale up in my career. But what I would say is that, I think the hardest time is when I had the twins. So I have two little kids,
Which year was that? 22?
21.
I remember like you were 8 months pregnant and I was telling you, go home, go rest. You're a workaholic and you were working. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, I would. I mean, it's also because I really love what I do, and I don't feel like there's I need to be away from what I'm doing just because I have kids, or I'm pregnant or whatever. But actually, when I think that was the hardest time, and I think mothers out there, I mean, they would understand, especially because it was all new to me. So when I had the little ones, it was a matter of balancing between this and that. And I remember the first day that I got them home back from the hospital, I was looking at them and I was like, okay, this is my new project. I can't fail at this. And I think also, alhamdulillah, it has been going well. But I think I also had so much support from the company. And I think that also what matters is that, your company has to be understanding to how things are. And I think that was also the time when I started doing less of marketing, more of PR, which also fit with my life needs as well. Because there was less of, less of those late nights and going field trips to kind of look at a venue or do something. Back then, it was more of communicating with others and make sure that strategic partnerships are in place. All these kind of things happen. And I think if we need to inspire, if we are to inspire other women, I would say never give up. Never lose hope in yourself. Like always think of you being capable of doing this. I mean, God made us women. We could bring these little humans to this world, so we can definitely do much more. So it doesn't stop there. I think you need to keep on going.
And speaking of companies and CEOs, we have to give a shout out to Haidar Khan.
Absolutely.
Because he's like one of the most genuine people you can ever meet in UAE. Super humble.
Very.
Such a genuine person. Like I cannot really give words to describe him. I think like you have to interact with the person to understand what I mean.
Yeah. Truly inspiring personality, very supportive as well.
So let's speak about the vision, the future, what's going on in the city. We've seen the articles, we've seen the land department giving crazy numbers in the billion. Everyone is rushing to Dubai. Everyone wants to become a broker. So
everybody has become a broker already.
Actually, yeah, everyone has become a broker. So like we've seen the UAE real estate market evolve so much. What do you think the next 5 years will look like when it comes to trust, data, and technology? We've seen Dubai really pushing for transparency. All of the transactions are being recorded publicly, whether it's a sale, it's a lender, it's a short term, it's everything. So what do you think is going to happen in the future? Just your opinion.
Yeah, I think looking at how it is right now and how it has changed a lot, there will definitely be more transparency. I mean, I can proudly say that we've recently announced in a PR that we have literally 0 fake listings, and that means we have no listings on Bayut with no permits, right? So, and I think that's how the market will be headed. I mean, more towards more transparency, and I think also that's what the consumer expect, right? So in terms of data, I mean, data integration is happening anyways. I think there needs to be more data sharing so that, there's also more transparency in the market. And I probably believe that AI will have a big role in how the real estate market does, basically function. We could see that AI has already, started having an impact on a lot of things. Like, for example, we have a tool that's called True Estimate. It's the first valuation tool that works completely, based on AI and the data that we have from Dubai Land Department. So it actually works on data integration as well as AI. where you can.
So basically, it takes like, let's say, 5 properties, and it does give you an average of an approximate estimation of what the price should be.
It does give you an evaluation basically for the property, and it's 97% accurate. And it's endorsed by the land department as well. I think you should try it. It's amazing, and it actually
it's
sends
becoming
you.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
all of this stuff. Like almost a month ago, I had a guest. His name is Alex, and Alex was the one who created the Realist.ai, and he created something now. It's called Titleman, and Titleman does exactly what you have mentioned, but the difference that is worldwide. Like you can put any country, and I was betting the guy. I'm like, if you can get me an estimate of the Lebanese properties, he will be the king. And guess what? It did it.
He did, yeah.
So it has these sections. Yeah, like it can compare the listings and it can compare the actual sales, and then it will give you, okay, this property following the view, following the size, price-wise should be between this and that. And I'm like, wow. But definitely I will
Interesting. I
have a
haven't
look.
heard of
But
it, yeah.
trust me, it's becoming very hard to keep up with all of the technology coming, because like I was telling a guest before, the word AI is being used more than oxygen. It's like kind of too much. I'm becoming annoyed.
I think there's also I mean, we're always in discussion with our BI team, and what we've realized is that people use AI, the term AI, for things that aren't always AI. So I think it has to actually be AI to call it AI, right? There's a whole system behind it. So yeah, interesting stuff.
Noor, if you can change one thing in the real estate industry and the habits and the sharing information, and like the one thing that you don't like in the industry and you wish one day to change it, what would it be? Agents?
No. I mean, they're the main part
Yeah,
of
they're the heart and the
I don't
soul
think
of
you
the
can
industry.
change them. I can't think of something right now. I think
That's amazing. If you don't find any flaws in the industry, and you don't want to change anything, means the industry.
there could be things, but I can't think of one at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, so you often use the phrase collective collaboration. What does that really mean to you? Is it about teamwork, shared goals, or something deeper?
I think collective collaboration is beyond teamwork. It's more of listening, being supportive, celebrating, success, whether they're big or small, with the team. It's absolutely, it's actually teamwork, but with much more than that. So yeah.
What's one common myth about PR that you really wish people would stop believing?
That it's just about spreading a certain buzz, or it's about making a buzz in the market, or it's just sharing a certain message. It's more about
I think people mistake PR for kind of it's a very easy job. It's not a hard work. You don't need to know much. You just need to communicate and link people together.
I think there's so much more than that. It's actually aligning with the vision of the brand. It's more of basically sharing the right message with the right audience. It's about being honest in the message that you want to deliver. It's not only about basically having a certain story out there. It's more of also feeling with what the audience wants to know, and basically delivering it there.
1000%. And also, like, life is becoming so quick. Like, these guys need to stay up to date. Like, we have changes happening, not yearly, not even monthly, I can say weekly. New stuff happening, new trends happening, like, new attention going somewhere, and then these PR guys have to position themselves in a place where they can have a quick bite of the pie, and if they don't, HR will call them, and like we have to speak, So I feel it's very stressful job. I don't know why people mistake it for an easy job. Actually, they say brokerage or real estate agents, they don't work. It's a very easy job. Yet it's like hell on earth, So
I think every single job is not an easy job to do if you want to do it right. PR also has a lot of angles. Like it's not only basically, just writing some articles and pushing it out. It's also, having your spokespeople also, aligned with everything that is happening and have them speak in certain events. It's also, having certain campaigns going in a time where you need them. So there's plenty of work and planning that happens and that takes place in terms of PR. So it's not an easy job, similar to other jobs, I would say. But it's because it's also the voice of the brand, right? You are basically the department that speaks on behalf of the brand for everything. So
Speaking of the brand, since we have this idea, tell me what's like one thing that people completely get wrong about Bayut or Dubizzle, the story or the growth, since we're there.
I think that success happened overnight. That's what they think. They don't know how, teams work really hard, how, they spend so much time in coming up with new products and they innovate and they, research. And I don't think people really know how much effort has been put to kind of get where we are at the moment. And of course, again, it's with the vision and the leadership basically direction that we are following, but it's definitely hasn't been an easy one. Like it's good for people to know that even if they want to reach somewhere, they have to work really hard to get there.
Noor, what's the ultimate goal? Like, what's the vision? Like you sit with Haider a lot, and I know that he's super into tech, but eventually, are you guys looking to dominate let's say the Gulf countries, or are you looking to dominate the Middle East, or are you looking maybe to expand to Europe or to the States? I don't know, like what's the ultimate vision?
So I think that question would be better asked to,
Absolutely, but I mean from what like because I'm sure you guys do weekly meetings, do monthly meetings,
we are
quarterly.
highly focused in the MENA region at the moment. And I think leading the PropTech industry in the UAE is something that already happened. So we want to continue to lead the PropTech industry over here. And inshallah, if there's a chance to expand, I'm sure that would be on, in the plan. But also we are very highly focused on KSA and other countries in the MENA region. So that's also part of the plan. I think everything they do is part of a plan. But yeah, I'm very cautious that I would leave the most of the information given by them.
Definitely. Noor, your twins will be watching this podcast after 15 years. What kind of a message you would like to leave them when they see this? Pass them a message.
I just want you to know that I've done my best to get you where you are today. And I hope I've kept you happy, safe, satisfied, and you've had all what you wanted. And I hope I've raised two little ones who are very responsible, who know what they want in life. And I'm always proud of you, no matter where you are or what have happened basically in your life.
Wow, I did my best to make you cry. I couldn't. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Noor Nabulsi. Thanks a lot for coming on the show. It has been an amazing episode.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Anthony.
Roof Broadway, real estate king, stack bricks all day. Bought a crib so tall, can't see the ground. Cash flow endless, funds never drown. Dubai skyline, Anthony raining.